Hey guys, guess what? It's Thursday, and that means it's another episode of the Texas Hemp Party. We've got a very special show today because we've got some super guests that are going to bring really a different viewpoint, my point, if you will, to the conversation today. So, of course, I'm your host, Leah Laxtons. I'm a native Kentuckian with a passion for hemp. I'm joined by Captain Cannabis, the science guy.
Hey, y'all.
Alex, always connecting the brands and retailers. And our producer, the fabulous Cynthia Morales, always keeping us on track.
Hey,
so today,
everyone.
We're very excited to have with us Yvonne and Ruthka from My Point TV. Now, My Point TV, hey, y'all. My Point TV is a really interesting website that we were recently invited to participate in, and we think that this is going to bring a lot of value not only to the hemp community but also just to the world community because of the background and the focus that's behind it. So we want to get right into it with you guys. Oh yeah, and let's go on and play the video. This was a video we recorded for you guys. We were really honored to be asked to participate in that. Oh no, I have to hear my own voice back, but it's okay.
And we don't hear the sound.
Well, do you remember what you were saying? Maybe you'll just.
Yeah, can you just speak on top?
Right. Can I?
Hi,
there we go.
Higher Ed Hemp Tours on behalf of My Point TV. And let's talk about Texas hemp, y'all. Last year, House Bill 1325 paved the way for the legalization of the farming, extracting, manufacturing, and retailing of hemp and CBD products in the state of Texas. Farming and extraction governed by the Texas Ag Commission, and the manufacture and retailing under DSHS. In spring of this year, the Ag Commission started approving licenses, and Texas farmers have hemp in the ground, ready for harvest. In August, DSHS...
There we go. And for the rest, you'll have to go to My Point TV. We don't want to spoil it all for you here by giving you the whole thing. So let's get right into it. Yvonne, now you're the founder.
Right or wrong, or people, they follow certain ideas or beliefs, and they just have no place where they can connect with their different opinions and different experiences. And of course, being Russian myself, I experience how media operates. Unfortunately, media oftentimes just physically cannot cover everything very clearly. And that's why the kind of idea came to me to have a cut off the middleman to a degree, allow people from around the world share with each other, and as well as locally share with each other information straight from the source of what happens to them, how they, what they believe in, and so on, and what happens to them, and at the same time be able to see the other side, to be able for us to balance this personal opinion with situation that happens on the opposite side. It's funny, in my business life, my business always called upon me when we had some kind of difficult situation with somebody else, and I would come in and I look at different angles and points of view of us and some, and the opposite side of, potential lawsuit or something. And it turned out that everybody has pretty much good reason why they act a certain way. But oftentimes media, and even social media, does not allow us to see all different sides at the same time. Because, don't get me started on social media, which basically pulls more and more what you want to see and not what you might want to see. It's just all about views and clicks. So that's why My Point TV idea came about. It was about 4 years ago. Throughout this time, I've been working on it now. Active phase was about 1.5 years now, where we actually started to implement this whole thing.
It's amazing. Yeah, it's a great point. You know, the Netflix documentary, what is it called? The Social Dilemma, really it shed a lot of light on this subject. I think it's nothing new. We all knew that we were being fed a certain ideology, but I see this quite frequently just dealing with a few different industries. My Facebook, you know, feed is just like all over the place. It's hemp, it's roofing, it's motorcycles, it's, you know, they're like, what does this person want? How do I feed it? So it's really an interesting paradigm that we live in a time right now. And I really appreciate what you guys are doing at My Point TV to put the power back in the hands of the people, if you will. So do you have any issues around, or I guess maybe let's get into explaining, Ruta, explaining kind of the way that the videos work as far as person uploads a video, but then there's a response, right?
Yes. So basically what Ivan also mentioned before, we really are aiming to raise the social discussion, and we want to welcome all the possible opinions and points of views on our website. And we want to have the major topic and different points of views on one page. So if you're looking for certain information, let's say even hemp world, hemp industry, hemp regulations, you can come up to our website, see one point of view, and below all of that, you can see a section which is called reaction angles, where we allow people to express their support or opposition or a neutral reaction angle to what they've seen. So let's say even though you think that, I don't know, smokable hemp should be banned in Texas, you can record a video and upload it on our website. We just ask people to use like a decent language and be respectful and express the opinions respectfully. But basically, this is the section where people can react to what they've seen and what they've heard. And when the viewer comes in, they can see multiple angles on the same topic. So we're just raising a discussion on one page. That's what we do.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And I noticed there's not really like any views or likes, things like that. So it's more of a conversation than like YouTube kind of clickbait, it seems like, is the angle.
That's what we're aiming to do. Yeah, go on, Ivan.
No problem. I think you're doing great. I just wanted to mention that this was our fundamental conceptual idea, is not to allow likes and views to to lift up the kind of make priorities in information that is provided by people, where we treat everybody equally. One thing about our editorial, however, of course, we're not YouTube, and all of our content is being checked by our people in the studio. So we cannot allow certain items, that are straight illegal, and also obviously we don't want our contributors to be disrespectful or mean to the opposite side. What we're working on is to bring everybody to the same table where they actually get to the bottom of their arguments. And that's why we are not allowing it to be propelled. Now, being from Russia, I know quite well how on YouTube, some of the Russian activists are being basically bombarded, overshadowed by content that is being promoted by, trolls, if you will. In our situation, it's just basically impossible. One of our fundamentals is that fact that you can have on one side any number of supporting videos. On another side could be one, and it will always be visible. That's what we stand on. One of our major goals is never to allow anybody's voice to be muffled by something else.
Yeah, so it's really like this bridge between great journalism and yet getting, the real human viewpoint. And that's sort of what's missing, today. Even journalists seem to, of course, we all have our own bias, right, from the way we grow up, our backgrounds, things like that. But I think this is just really an amazing concept. So what made you guys sort of reach out to us and get into hemp? Because that's kind of an interesting subject matter, right, to bring into the platform.
Yeah, so I guess that's a question for me because I was the one that contacted both of you actually separately, Leah and Cynthia. First of all, we wanted to find topics that are quite controversial in society, where we see that there's not enough of communication between both sides and both angles. And honestly, it was just one day when I was scrolling through media and I saw an article about hemp industry in Texas and how regulations were changing recently. And I thought, wow, it must be such an interesting topic for Texas people. And obviously there must be a couple of sides, because there will be people always promoting, I don't know, development of this industry, and there will always be people regulating that. So I just started looking for people passionate about hemp industry, and I mean, I didn't need to put much effort to find both of you. I think like your social presence is quite big, and yeah, I'm just really glad that you agreed to participate in our platform and to express your opinion. So I think it's just this example of our collaboration. It just shows what kind of people we are trying to attract. We're trying to attract people that are passionate about things that they're doing, that they're knowledgeable, they have their own experiences, and they are able to share them with broader society just based on how they work, how they live, and just like a real honest human experience. I think that's what we need, and I think that both of you are just great examples of those active people passionate about what they're doing.
Well, we're very thankful that we came across that way for sure. Yvonne, did it make you a little bit nervous when you heard you were going to upload a hemp video, or you were happy with it?
No, I'm absolutely happy with it. You know, I'm one of those people who, first of all, I wouldn't claim that I know much about hemp industry, but as a human being, of course, I've learned a few things. I think that, and I had some friends, I lived in California for a while. That's the state where you're not going to miss it, right?
Yeah.
Even in my days when I was younger. And, these were great people. I love them as human beings. They were absolutely fantastic people. Still have some friends from there. And I have no prejudice against hemp whatsoever. I mean, as I mentioned before, my personal connection with hemp was only because I'm, by trade, I'm a merchant marine specialist. And in my studies, I've learned about hemp rope. That's as close as I get to this. But I do believe that, as people need to really express, I was thinking about strategy of how humanity operates with different items that are not immediately accepted. I'm almost, I'm tempted to believe that mostly new things are not accepted right away. There's a situation where when people see something, in particular, if there was some kind of bad rap about it initially, for whatever reason, when they see something, they feel this is bad. Just they reject it right off the bat. And it takes effort. It takes effort to explain to people how things work. That and also it requires showing humanity behind any kind of activity. Whether it be hemp or anything else. I mean, think about other things that are developed and came out in the open in recent decades. And I think that for this industry, we just need to see more people who believe that, in that industry and use and so on. And I'm totally for it. My fundamental belief, is I love people. I just want them to be happy. And I want them to understand each other, and that's all. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, I had some questions. Yeah, and here's the thing: is I don't know if it's because I'm Latvian or what, but, I grew up, my father was born in Riga. And so, but I born in Indiana. And, but I always grew up noticing the differences in the way people thought versus the way I thought. But I always wanted to be open to all thoughts and things like that. But I'm also one of those people that just notice different things. And so I've noticed the media using psychology, dopamine spikes to generate more cash. And it's usually always on a negative trend. It's the only thing that gets attention is the negative trend. And there's two psychological scientists here in Texas, in Austin, UT, Bob Duke and Art Markman, and they were saying that a child on the beach could build this beautiful sandcastle and spend hours working on that. The media comes out and they're interviewing this child that works so hard, and then there's a child that did nothing but can walk up, kick it over within 10 seconds, and then get the same attention, same media, actually more attention than even the beautiful thing. And so, and what I'm seeing with what you're doing, did you guys take into consideration that how social media is using dopamine spikes to control, manipulate, and program people? And did you take those things into consideration, the science behind what they're doing, which is really, I don't want to say evil, or evil, just kidding. But you know what I mean? Did you take that into consideration?
Because at the same time, you still have to get website hits, right? Like to keep my point going, you have to have a fan base.
And that's the thing, he's that have likes, because if you keep checking back and there's a like, dopamine spike. I feel so good about myself. My dad never said I was a good person, or never amount to anything. But now I got this, I got the like here. I got a like. I do mean something, and so I can see the dopamine, the way people are taking advantage of. But what did you think of when you're developing that? And did you think about the psychology behind what you're doing versus them?
Well, yes, of course. I think the thought definitely crossed the mind. As a matter of fact, this is one of the reasons why I decided to start the whole thing, because I feel we're rolling in a totally wrong direction. We are bringing ourselves where we're just indulged all the time in things that are not good for us. And this is being promoted, in our brain is just turning into mush. And the problem with it is I'm against it. I feel like, of course, it's simple to sell things that are kind of sucking you into it, we go against the flow, we go against current with hope that there will be endorphins, in fact, that people done something good. And when you think about this, the amount of those things, I think, in my opinion, and my hope, as a matter of fact, is overweighing towards the true good deed. Our contributors can be quite different people. But however, if they contribute on something very small, I told my team, I said, look, guys, people can contribute on things that are very small. I have a cable laying on my street for months, and I just contribute to MyPoint.tv, and I say, look, what's going on with it? Why is there a cable? And maybe this is being seen by a cable company or whoever, neighbors themselves, and so on. It's very local news. But I make things at the end, make things a little bit better, make them a little bit more beneficial, or it could be something major, something huge, where people, share very important information. But at the end, maybe I'd rather have fewer people who do something good for the community than millions of people who do nothing but just sit there watching things that don't make them any better people or not smarter, and it doesn't make any positive change. I know it's a battle, but we're going to fight it. That's what we're here for.
I love it. We're very thankful for you, for waging this battle. I think it's very important disruption to media and to social media as well. So we're happy to have you guys here. And we actually have another member of our Texas hemp family here with us, Christy, right? You're based here in Texas as well?
Actually, I'm in Washington.
In Washington. Okay, that's
Yes.
awesome. Yeah, so
Yes.
tell us a little bit about, thanks for joining us today on the Hemp Party. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you got you into the hemp industry.
Well, Leah, thank you so much for having me, first of all. What got me into the hemp industry was after 30 years of being a respiratory therapist, uh, engaging in cannabis on the weekends, camping trips kind of thing. But certainly my job kept me away from partaking. And then I came up with health issues, went to the doctor, didn't like what they were saying, and knew that there had to be a better way. So after a few years of having some health issues, I turned to cannabis, and life is pretty good. Life is
Yeah.
pretty good. You know, my mind is just racing with all of the things that this plant has done for me personally, which has given me the passion to drive forward what I'm doing. And I drive with a lot of passion because of my experience. Initially, I had fibromyalgia, did a topical, got the swelling, inflammation down, the knee back, started skiing, ended up starting a company, the Balm Body Care. We were blessed with an award in Oregon in 2016. And here's where it got really good for me. I thought I had everything that I needed to be successful in life. My pain was under control. I was no longer on opiates. I was thriving. But that wasn't the passion that I had in life. The plant, yes. But the medicinal part of the plant was the CBDs and the CBGs, the CBNs, and what that could do internally for me. My first phase was a topical, and that was life-changing, as you all can imagine. And then to go into education on how to absorb CBD when I had health issues. As a respiratory therapist, I felt lung health was very important. I threw cigarettes away when I was 22 and said, this is the path that I want. I want a healthy lifestyle. So when I started partaking in cannabis, I was pretty sick and I smoked a lot. You know, I actually lost 110 pounds in 8 months. Couldn't drink water. Just had a really difficult time. And I was unable to get tinctures in. I would just, of course, bring them right back up. So my fibromyalgia, backing up a little bit, had turned into IBS, which is the great weight loss that I had. And, you know, I was just searching for every healer that I could find in the industry. What do I do? Like, I can't function. This is good. So ironically enough, you guys, and this is the favorite part of my story, and I'm just so happy to share this with you. As a respiratory therapist, I had read articles that CBD was a better bronchodilator than the medicine that I had been giving patients in hospitals for 25 years, giving them tachycardia, nausea, vomiting, giving pediatric children so much medicine that they couldn't sit still. And I knew that CBD didn't have the tachycardia, didn't have the anxiety that the other medications were producing for patients. So I started looking into that and seeing, you know, CBD and inhalers, THC, how does it work? Can it be done? And got into a group of great physicians that are very diligent in this industry of inhalers. And so I got some, wanted to try them and make sure that, you know, it felt good in my lungs and I could express it to other people what it did for me. Ironically enough, Leah, by golly, taking that CBD inhaler 4 times a day for 1 month Under a doctor's care, I gained 50 pounds.
Wow.
Yay.
I was back up. And I'm going to get a little teary. For me to be down for so long after being so active in my life, I worked in the ER and pounded that ER pavement for 12 hours a night, 7 days a week straight. That was my life. And then I went to not being able to get up. So when I found cannabis and the topical got me up, and then the inhaler allowed me to get nutrition and health back. So yeah, I'm the one standing on the platform saying, you will not believe this. I actually went to New York at the World Business Conference years ago, and I thought they are just going to be blown away with what I found, the research that I've been doing. And I got to New York and nope.
That's what I was wondering and wanted to ask you about is what's the reception been from your former and current colleagues on your transition?
Well, that's a great question, Leah. First of all, coming back from New York and recognizing that they were 5 years behind Oregon and Washington and California and Colorado, I just knew it wasn't time yet. So I came home, tail between my legs, and knew what I knew. And so reaching out to pulmonologists that I had worked with over the years, a lot of people are pretty excited. It's a huge program for education to push forward. It's taken a long time. Want to do it right. Making sure that we had a proper formulation. For instance, we do not use albumin in our formulation. So when you're putting something in somebody's lungs and directly going into the bloodstream, you want to make sure that you're doing a very good job. So
For sure.
The professionals that I had worked with prior to being in this space have helped me to develop what I'm doing now. So
we find you mentioned the topicals being sort of like a lead-in for you, and we find that very common. But Cynthia and I, and Captain Cannabis, we have a friend whose parents, were extremely anti-cannabis, and his father ended up with a health issue, and read some white papers. He had read some studies about CBD helping, and so we actually suggested an inhaler to him, and it was amazing how much of an effect it had on him. But mentally it was awesome, because to him it was so far away from cannabis. It was like,
mentally it was okay.
This.
He was taking a medicine, right?
Exactly.
Instead of I'm taking a drug, quote unquote, which technically we call it the same, we call medicines drugs and drugs medications. So
well, one of the things that I very much appreciate about the meter dose inhaler and the nebulizer is that anybody from 1 day old to 101 years old recognizes that modality as relief. They don't recognize it as a cannabis product that don't do that. So in my vision and in my push forward, I want to break the stigma. There's so many people who are doing such a great job at it, but there are people that need it who don't have time to get through the stigma. So in order to reach those types of patients, a nebulizer or an inhaler is something that they recognize. They've seen it on TV. Their grandmother did it. Their grandfather did it, had COPD. So it's more acceptable.
And inhalation being the most effective method of consumption as well, right?
Exactly. One of the things that is so important, and I really would like to share this, smoking cannabis is wonderful. things for our body, great things for our lungs. To go one step further and not have heat, which our cilia does not care for. And our cilia are the little hairs that keep the secretions moving up the airway. And it's very important when you're ill. So to have no heat is very important. And yeah, we're just really looking forward to bringing this forward. And one other point, and I actually had two, and I would prefer to make this one. One of the most powerful things that is pushing me forward in such a strong way is I was a patient who was sick, and I needed to smoke cannabis, and it got me well. If somebody is in a place, whether it be an apartment building, housing, government housing, what about those people? How do they medicate and stay in their homes and stay comfortable? Cannabis with a joint is going to give you great relief, but it's going to cause you a lot of problems with your neighbors.
For sure.
In some situations. I was blessed that I didn't have that problem, but I do know people that have. So for them to be able to take a nebulizer and sit and absorb the mist, relax their lungs, get their THC, their CBD, CBGs, and CBNs in a solution, which is not, I just want to clarify, which is not putting those molecules in water and mixing it. That is not what we're doing. So I want to make that very clear. This is a lot of science in order to have all of that come together. So with the proper pH, medicate in their home with THC, and their granddaughter could be across the room, and maybe mom is anti-cannabis and doesn't want to visit grandma because she has to partake. Grandma can sit there and do a nebulizer and have her treatment, or whoever, and it's socially. Unfortunately, that's the truth.
Yes.
So being able
Amazing.
to get relief anywhere, anytime, without harming your lungs is really my passion. You know?
It's beautiful.
So,
Yeah, that's beautiful, Christy. And where can people find more about you and the nebulizer? Is there a website or social media they can follow?
well, it's been a lot of work. We have been really blessed. We had a New York agency step in and do a contest, if you will. There were 360 CBD companies, and we were chosen. So we are being rebranded right now, and website should be up and running shortly. We are at chapmanhealthandwellness.com. Previously, when I started the inhalers, I had, there we go.
There we go.
That's the beginning.
It looks like it's on the right track. Yeah, I love this. I love the photo already. I'm already relaxed.
Well, I'd like to share a little bit about that, if I may, because of course, when we're dealing with health and wellness and family, our hearts are really, you know, that pulls at our heartstrings, as everybody knows. The symbol that this picture has for our website with the water, I happen to live in the San Juans, and live on a little lake here. So water being very soothing and healing for me. And then the rock formation is my daughter, Amy. That is the dearest child a mother could ask for. My daughter is in recovery and was the reason why I started the CBD line. She refused to use THC. She now does and is doing very well still. But one of her favorite things to do is to balance rocks, and she can actually get them in an arch. She's very good at it.
Wow.
Wow.
So this is a family joint venture, and very dear to my heart. There's been so much healing. I brought cannabis into our family. It's just, we have a lot of addiction in our family, a lot of healthy people.
That's amazing. It's beautiful to see inside of the industry. There are so many family ventures, family farms, you know, families working together to bring the plant back after all these years of prohibition, and certainly seeing it grow is exciting. But the most exciting part is seeing it help people like yourself and the consumers that are around you as well, that you're bringing this message to. So we appreciate you so much being on the show today. I think if I had to sum up the show today, it's really about all the different viewpoints that we have. You know, it's Cynthia and I, actually Captain Cannabis and Cynthia are world travelers. They've both lived all around the world, traveled all around the world.
Well, you and I are the ones that travel together.
Yeah, I think you've traveled to a few. Well,
yeah, not
right,
at the same time, but
yeah,
not
they get the wrong
together.
idea here. I'm married to you, girl. No.
Not together, but I mean that you've both, you know, I've been to some countries, a handful of
You've
countries
been
in Europe,
yeah.
but you've been.
But I had traveled in my youth. Yeah,
Yeah,
all over the
you've
world.
been all over the world. Cynthia's lived all over the world. And so it's really neat to see whenever we have meetings as a team, you guys always have very broad perspectives. Myself as well. Kentucky's another country, so you know, I bring my southern perspective. Alex and I bring our southern perspectives in, but it's really awesome because it's kind of what has driven our mission at Hemp Tours, or it really is what's driven our mission, is how can we break the stigma with people of all different backgrounds, and being fascinated by traveling to different, even now in the United States, cannabis culture is so different, right? Here in Texas, where hemp's legal, everything over 0.3 is still on we have the limited medical, and then everything else is black market. Washington, Christy, where you are, being very open. THC, I believe you guys have adult use medical as well there. And I'm not sure in Lithuania, how is the cannabis scene there, Ruta?
Pretty bad situation. I can't even compare it where you are at, guys. We're working towards decriminalizing hemp, at least. So everything is like still in black market. There are no regulations, like it's illegal, like all the amounts and everything. But we do have initiatives that are working towards at least decriminalizing it in the first place.
It's at least starting to get recognized.
They live not so far from Amsterdam, you know.
Right.
Yes, true.
It's true. Right there. Yeah, world.
Why
Hey,
has it taken so long?
I want to share something too.
Sure.
And so the thing is, you know, here in America, they've been always talking about fighting the good fight, or, you know, and of course that's old scripture too, right? Fight the good fight. But, you know, there comes a time where we really don't have to fight anymore. Reality is all these people around us, we shouldn't fight them because they're brainwashed. We were brainwashed. I was at one time. And so this is something I share with different ones, that the truth is we don't have to fight anymore. What we have to do is educate, and then we have to use terminology that makes someone feel comfortable. Because, you know, I mean, there's nothing wrong saying hi when you're around people that are a part of the
and understand.
What do we call that, Cynthia? Yeah, the cannabis culture, right?
Right.
But the thing is if we start explaining to people that, you know, like, look, there's a buzz over here, you know, if you're drinking a beer, you get a beer buzz or a scotch buzz, but buzz responsibly. And then you look at the child is reading a book, but they took Ritalin, so they got a speed reading buzz, you know, or a concentration buzz, you might say. And then the little old ladies at the church, and she's got a Prozac buzz because she's depressed, you know, of course, because she's studying Jesus. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. But the point
Oh.
is, but the point is that lady, she's buzzing like a mother trucker, right? She is buzzing. And so why not,
Everyone on
you know,
caffeine,
just tell everyone,
yeah.
cannabis is not only a creative buzz, which that's what I like to coin it. Hey, this is just a buzz. Why can't a free human on planet Earth buzz responsibly? Because this, out of all those buzzes, actually heals your body. It does things. It repairs the brain. It gets you off true drugs. So, and that's the message I'm preaching as Captain Cannabis is, let's not fight each other anymore. Let's just share positivity. And that's what the plant taught us, right? Peace and love. And then as we share that positivity, then we're gonna win people over to just the honest truth. It's just a buzz, guys. You know, that's what I just thought. Guys, it's just a buzz. You know?
Captain Cannabis. Captain
Yes.
Cannabis, I have a new one for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Ooh.
Some of those older people that don't like the buzzword or the get high words.
Well, they used to use stone back in the 30s.
Some of them like the
No,
stone words,
well,
but
that's just
I have a new one for you.
Yes.
It just lowers your eyebrows.
Lowers your
What?
eyebrows.
It just lowers your eyebrows. Relaxes you.
Lowers
I like
eyebrow.
it.
Everybody
Lowers
has
your
their eyebrows
eyebrows.
all, stressed out with
Yeah.
COVID and everything. And I say,
Yes, lowers your
just
eyebrows.
relaxes the eyebrow.
But remember
I
this too.
love
Even the
that.
word stoned. The word stoned was used long before cannabis. You know, when
Drinking.
people were kids, yeah, it was used for being drunk. That, you know, it just, you know, they're like
Impaired in some
yeah.
way.
But
you
most of
know,
the time, it was used
and-
for being drunk or
Yeah.
And I
bombed,
think,
exploded.
and that's the thing too, is it's like buzz responsibly, lower your eyebrows responsibly. That means
I
a
like
different thing to each person and a different thing at each point in their life. So there's certainly an individuality to it, and seeing the viewpoints from around the world. What a fascinating time to be in the world of hemp and cannabis. And you can see
Yes.
those viewpoints on MyPoint TV. So be sure to go
Yes.
check out
Freedom,
mypoint.tv.
baby.
Go check out Chapman Health and Wellness. And one last thing we want to leave y'all with is that next week on Thursday, October 29th, we are hosting a virtual Halloween party. We really like this virtual platform called Hop In because you're able to really interact and get to know people that you don't know. There's speed networking. It's kind of similar to speed dating in like a virtual format. There's going to be different session rooms. We have some really cool moderators and hosts in these rooms that we're super stoked about. A lot of names that you'll probably recognize that we'll be putting up in the speaker box coming soon. Very thankful to all of our partners here. They're, of course, what makes Hemp Tours keep going. And being a partner with Hemp Tours means that these brands have been verified and vetted. They have insurance. They're committed to no artificial ingredients. They're committed to education, and they support their local communities. So when you see the Hemp Tours verified symbol, you can rest assured that we have taken a deep, in-depth look at these individuals, and we thank them for their continued support and commitment to the hemp industry. So probably just go to our Instagram and click on the link tree, because it's a pretty long domain there, but it's hopin.to/events/Halloween-hemp-party, and you can register for free. I think we're about, Cynthia, about 65% full right now. So we've got
we got about 30 tickets or so left. So yeah.
Okay.
And,
So you're going to want to
free to
go get them.
anybody. Yes.
Free to anybody. You want to go get those tickets and pick them up because they're going to be going pretty quick. Hop In limits us to 100 participants. So that's why you have to get on it, because once we get to 100, we're going to be capped. And plus it kind of makes it nice because you get to really talk and interact with a lot of individuals. So we're looking forward to it. I think we're going to have a little virtual costume contest as well going on.
Yeah, so submit. You don't have to be present, but you could just submit, tag Hemp Tours with a picture of your costume, and the day of the event, we're going to just kind of have a poll there, and we're going to pick.
Are you allowed to participate, Cynthia?
We all are, Daniel.
Well, I was gonna say
because we're not
that's what
we're not the ones voting. So
okay. Because what I'm saying is you're gonna probably win. Every one of your costumes are always extraordinary. I guess hey, people should come to this just to see Cynthia's costume.
And Cynthia's the one that dislikes Halloween too, and yet somehow always rocks that costume.
Well, her and Isaac are husband. It's awesome.
I love it.
But we did have a cool team costume last year, guys. Remember that?
That
That's
fun.
right.
did.
Yeah.
We'll have to put up those photos.
Yeah,
We
we'll
rocked
put those
out.
Cynthia.
photos up.
Yeah.
It was not only us four, but even the dog matched. So
Yes.
it was awesome. That was awesome. Well, thank y'all so much for being with us, Yvonne, Ruta, Christy, and of course the Hemp Tours team. We're thankful for your time and your dedication to the communities around the world, to hemp, and for getting accurate information out there. So have a great day, everybody, and we'll catch you next week.
Well,
It
thank you
was
so much.
very nice to meet everybody. Thank you so much, Leah.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, Christy.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.